Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back to Super Jesus Jackson. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you and to your loved ones. I hope you had a fantastic holiday because right now it's January 2nd, Monday, 7:11 p.m. 7:11. That's right. We're doing a reaction and analysis to Clairo's SOFTLY. Many of you might know Clairo from her hit single, I believe it was a single, Pretty Girl. Took the internets by storm, and rightfully so. Really underproduced track, and I think that's part of why it's so great. Very relatable track, really, to everyone, and it's a great song. And she came out with a debut album called Immunity, and I listened to it, and I would say that it is a fairly good debut. I don't think it's a masterpiece of an album, but I think it's a fairly good album, and I think it's worth a listen. And one of the songs that stood out to me was Clairo's SOFTLY. And not Clairo's SOFTLY, I'm just SOFTLY, okay, SOFTLY. Killing me softly. This song is absolutely fantastic, and it's interesting because it very much highlights how a song you can listen to it and it can hit you in a certain way, you can relate to it in a specific way, and then listen to it again like days later, weeks later, months later, and completely get a new meaning from it. And that's what this song does. And I'd like to listen to it, analyze it, of course, and you can let me know in the comment section below if you agree with me or if you disagree with me. Let me know right now, actually. Do whatever you want, okay? Thank you for being here on this video right now. Thank you.
Is it alright to feel this way so early? Am I blind? All the sweet nothings falling in love overnight. Did I mean to get so close? And I know that I should probably go, but I got this feeling. Tell me, girl, I gotta know. Touch you softly, I call you up late at night. Know that it isn't right, but you could be my one and only. You get me in the mood, know what I'm trying to do. Do you think that we can move closer, baby? I want you. And all my life, been wanting this forever. And in my mind, think of ways to ask you. Why don't you come over sometime? Did I mean to get so close? And I know that I should probably go, but I got this feeling. Tell me, girl, I gotta know. Touch you softly, I call you up late at night. Know that it isn't right, but you could be my one and only. You get me in the mood, know what I'm trying to do. Do you think that we can move closer, baby? I want you.
Oh my God. God. Ugh. Sorry there. That was a little bit too much there. A little bit too much of a scream there. Oh God. I love this song so much. Okay. First of all, I got to preface this. I really wanted to do this song, okay? And I figured, you know what? I'm going to start off the new year with this song. I'm going to analyze it. We'll talk about it. It's the same thing that happened with John Robert, for example. He's kind of a lesser-known artist. Given the fact that I'm trying to, get views on videos, right? I'm a YouTuber. Like, for example, that video didn't really get a lot of views. And when it comes to Clairo, I know she's way more popular, I would say, than John Robert. And even with her, I'm still a little bit I don't know, should I do a video on an artist that's probably not going to get me a lot of views? I'm being completely honest with you here. 2023, honesty. But for those of you who do know me, you know that I'm a very honest person. And yes, I'm wearing a Twilight shirt because I enjoy the movie. But I was a little bit hesitant. But I said, you know what, screw it. I am a person that appreciates art. I talk about things that I love on this channel, and I'm going to do it. And so here I am. I'm doing it now, and you're loving it. One of the biggest things that I love about the song is that personally for me, and with any song, of course, is when you listen to it and it gives you a certain feeling, a certain emotion, whatever, and then you proceed to listen to it again, days later, weeks later, whatever, and it hits you in a different way, or you interpret a new meaning off the song. And what happened here with Clairo's SOFTLY is, first, I had a specific interpretation for this song, right? For me, it was I completely just didn't, I wasn't really listening to the lyrics entirely. I was just listening to the chorus, but I didn't really get the LGBTQ interpretation of the song until my second listen. The first listen, I just related it to myself, which obviously is completely fine, as in, I related it to another person. I was the protagonist of the song, right? And this person happened to be a girl, right? I'm not gay. At least I might be 10% gay. Starting out the new year, coming out 10% gay. But I interpret it in that conventional way, right? And it was a very I had a specific version in my mind, where it was a specific, circumstance, event, point in time. The song has this very we're doing something wrong, and I don't care that it's wrong. And I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it because it's what I feel, and I feel like you sort of feel that way too. And I'm just going to shoot my shot, and I'm going to do what I feel, what I want to do. And hopefully you want to join me, right? And I kind of related it to that too. And obviously Clairo, she is a woman, and she is singing it to another woman. It's that type of relationship, right? And so obviously we know of the LGBTQ stigma in society still to this day, of course. And it's this idea, of course, that it's wrong, right? She's fairly my age, a little bit younger, I think, or right on my age. I'm not sure. Maybe it was hard for her to come out to her family. I'm not sure what it is, but this song has a very rebellious nature to it. It's a very honest and rebellious song. And so I took those elements and interpreted it to my own, circumstance. It wasn't an LGBTQ circumstance, but it was very much like this person and I, there was something off about it, but I want to go through with it anyway. And then a little bit of time passed. I listened to the song again, and I was like, oh, yeah. And I'm not sure if I did some research online or whatnot, but I was like, oh, this song is LGBTQ. That's sort of, it's a part of that community. It's sharing an LGBTQ message, right? And the song became that much greater to me, especially because towards the end, this song really gets me. She starts going I don't care what they say. I don't care what they say. And right in the background of her saying all that, it's just this kind of little choir of children. And I just thought that was so beautiful. Because, many LGBTQ individuals discover their sexuality earlier in their childhood or in their adolescence, right? but it's also this kind of thing where it's like, it really cements the LGBTQ identity to be this thing that is, whatever it may be. And some people it may be biological, some people may be more sociological, whatever it may be, of course, do whatever you want, be whoever you want. But I really think that she makes this statement. Kids are singing this, like kids, think of like when you're a child, it's almost like you have no choice into being who you are because you're very much a product of your environment, but at the same time, you're a product of your genetics, a product of your DNA. It's like you are growing up and it's almost like you have no agency because you're a child, And so it's like, if you're a child and you like the color red, you like the color red, like there's no debate. And so I think with her putting children, singing I Don't Care What They Say, it's a very rebellious decision. Not rebellious, well, it is rebellious, but it's a very like adamant decision of saying, this is who I am, because children saying, I don't care what they say, they really mean, I don't care what they say, because you're a child, like you're building your identity. And when you're a child, like you like, that's what parents do, right? Whenever a child like likes something when they're a child, that's their parents go with that no matter what, right? No, they're not putting their foot down, unless you're one of those parents, like it's a very subtle way of really putting her foot down on her identity by having children singing "I Don't Care What They Say" over and over and over again. Also, it's very heartwarming. Of course, it's beautiful. Yeah, I think that's it. Like that, it really that is the kind of cherry on top towards the end of this song. And really, when I listened to that end part of the song, that's when I was like, this song is brilliant. And I'm not part of the LGBTQ community, I guess, per se. Like, I mean, I'm not like the straightest guy in the world, for sure. I feel like as I grow older, I'm starting to realize that, my sexuality is a little bit more ambiguous than I thought, which is interesting, but that's a whole other discussion. And so this song, I relate to it in a certain way. I really broaden it. It's kind of this thing of like, I'm going to be who I am, and I don't care what other people say. And that is such a strong message at the end of the day, in a world where we can have a lot of stigma, in a world where we can have a lot of judgment, and preconceived notions, and prejudice. Really, prejudice is the word, right? But it's just be who you want to be, do what you want to do. It's weird because as she's singing the song, she says, know that it isn't right, but you could be my one and only. Like, it's like, why is she saying that? You know what I mean? It's like, are you saying like, I know that this isn't right, as in like, it feels wrong because of society or whatnot? Like, or she's not confident in herself shooting her shot, whatever it is, but I love how ambiguous it kind of is in that sense. It's a very inspiring song, okay? It inspires me to continue being who I really want to be, who I desire to be, who I am. It's a very empowering song. And, I love how I was able to kind of still get that interpretation, even after applying my own interpretation. I was able to double dip. Is the way I put it. And I gotta say, I love just kind of the back and forth, like where she's doubting herself, and she's not, touch you softly, as in like softly. It just implies this thing of like, okay, it's softly because I care about you. I'm doing it softly with care, with tenderness, right? But it's also this kind of like, I don't know if I should, so it's softly. It's not rough, it's not obviously it's not aggressive, and it's not assertive. It's softly. It's a perfect metaphor to describe, I guess, her struggle of accepting, I'm not sure if she struggled with accepting her identity, but it's a struggle of coming out, right, in general. Not only with shooting her shot with this girl, which is kind of in a way, a part of her coming out journey, right? It can be, but it's also to society and to everyone as a whole, right? And to herself. And so I really like that. And so it's touch you softly, and then I call you up late at night. And so that's kind of more assertive, right? Know that it isn't right. There we go with the doubt, with kind of holding back. But you could be my one and only. That's a for certain thing. It's like, but you could be the love of my life. That's a very assertive decision, right? It's kind of the opposite of touching someone softly, right? You get me in the mood, know what I'm trying to do. Do you think that we can move closer? I want you. You know, it's a constant like, or I'm going to go for it. And I'm going to go for it, you know? And I love that. And towards the end, of course, we have this perfect 360 of her just being like, I don't care anymore. I'm going to do it. You know, I'm telling this to myself, telling it to everyone else, and to this girl that I really like. And I just love how she's able to tie all these things, you know, shooting her shot for someone that she likes, and society and self-discovery, identity, acceptance, and just kind of everything all comes together to just really strengthen this message of just being who you are and not being ashamed and just going for it, you know, just going for it because you have nothing to lose. It's what you really feel. So nothing should stop you. And that's beautiful. And I haven't even gotten to the music. The music itself is absolutely, I think this is the first song ever where I just talked about the lyrics and the meaning of it first, and then I talked about the music, which if you know me, you know that I don't rarely talk about lyrics, but like I don't often talk about lyrics. Usually with music, I kind of just analyze the music. It just goes to show you, I guess, how much this song could really get to you from a lyrical perspective. And it makes sense because Clairo has great lyrics in general with all her songs. And great messages, of course. But the song itself, I think, is just absolutely awesome. It's a very, very kind of like lo-fi track. The percussion is soft, but yet firm, you know, which really goes with that metaphor of her, you know, kind of shooting her shot, but kind of, you know, like holding back and putting it all in. And it really goes well. This instrumentation is perfect. And I really love towards, I believe it's the second verse, just kind of everything is drowned out. It just kind of gets buried like instrumentally. Really, it's like the filtering of the track. It gets really muffled and then it gets clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer. And then we get to the chorus and it's just like crystal clear.
My life been wanting this for, why don't you come over sometime? Did I mean to get so close? And I know that I should probably go,
but it's this beautiful journey, and it really, really drives the metaphor home of just that journey, right, of self-discovery. It's like it's really muffled and oppressed, right, because that's what prejudice is in a way, an oppression. It can hold you back from being who you really are. You're not really yourself. You feel handicapped, and then as you go through life, and hopefully you're making the right decisions. Hopefully you're surrounding yourself with the right people. You start to open up like a flower, right? Blooming. And you get to the point where everything is crystal clear and everything is what it is. Everything is accepted. It's all clear and there's no oppression. And even in the verses, you know, we really do get that. We get really what she's really feeling and her doubts. And in the chorus, you know, we get this kind of assertiveness while still having doubt, but we still get that I want you, you know, at the very end of the chorus. And then obviously towards the very end of the song, everything ties together. And it's like a full-on, the journey of this protagonist is complete. You know, and I love the difference in the chorus, the vocals, the way that they sound. Literally, they sound softly, right? They're panned, and it's just, and Clairo has a very, very edgy, you know, aspect to her voice, of course. It sounds just kind of monotone in a way, but she still has tone, of course. She still hits notes, and it's a very pretty voice. But she has a very kind of like melancholic aspect to her voice, right? Which we know of many singer-songwriters and many independent singers out there. I guess in the alternative sphere, I would say, to be more accurate. But that chorus really hits perfectly well because of those vocals and the way that they're panned, and the way that they're delivered. They're so clear, so crystal clear. And it's very sweet, it's very soft, but it has this edge to it, this raspiness, and of course the way that she pronounces her words.
Tell me, girl, I gotta know. Touch you softly, I call you up late at night. Know that it isn't right, but you could be my one and only. You get me in the mood, know what I'm trying to do. Do you think that we can move closer, baby? I want you.
And last thing here, I would say the chord progression of the song is fantastic. It has an unconventional type of chord progression in a way. I expect it to go somewhere and it doesn't, which is interesting, of course. That's kind of where I want the progression to go, but it doesn't. It just stays there. It just stays there. And it's, it's da, da, da. It's just 3 chords. And it just, I think that's the unconventional part, right? Is that we're used to the 4 chord structure, but but Clairo just gives us 3. And we really want it to go kind of up or somewhere. But it doesn't, just kind of stays there. It's very interesting because that kind of contradicts the ultimate journey of this of the protagonist and this relationship, right? Is that it's kind of like the music just kind of keeps us, chord progression wise, that is, kind of keeps us in that, ambiguity of like, am I gonna shoot my shot? Am I not? Like it just kind of like it goes somewhere, but it doesn't go all the way. Eventually, we do get there towards the end, but we still come out with that feeling of resolution, even though the chord progression kind of doesn't go there fully. So it's awesome. And I would say that the way that Clairo sings, you got to be really interesting. It's got to be of a certain timbre, in order for it to be appealing to the ear, because it's, she's not Mariah Carey, like she's not going to be, doing riffs all the way here, and she's not doing vibrato, so you really got to be interesting with your lyrics, with your music, with your chord progression. It's why a lot of alternative music is interesting in those departments. But the melody, of course, has to be great, in order for the audience to be engaged. And I think Clairo does a fantastic job of that, given the way that she sings. This song is just a amazing track. I don't think I spent so much time talking about a song's lyrics or meaning as much as this one, let alone talking about the lyrics first, because, I usually do it the other way around. But there we have it. That was Clairo's Softly. You let me know if you agree with me or if you disagree in the comment section below. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, dislike it if you didn't. Subscribe to the channel, of course, if you enjoy this content. I think that, share with your Clairo loving friends, if you will. That's important. God, I really want some In-N-Out right now. I don't care what they say. I don't care, man. I'm gonna be wearing this Twilight shirt. I really want to do like a Twilight like reaction, like analysis video. I think it'd be funny. I think it'd be fun because that movie's fun. We'll say that it's a fun movie. But anyways, I gotta get out of here. Listen to Clairo's Softly. Listen to her album. Go. Also listen to John Robert. He's great. That's it for me. Happy New Year. Take care. Stay safe. And until next time, I love you. You know what? I'm gonna say it differently this time. I'm doing it differently this time. Get it? I love you. Happy New Year! Yeah! I have no idea what I just said.